Welcome to Non-Discrimination in Child Protection. For this unit, we'll focus on developing awareness and sensitivity for all children and families with whom you'll work. This means developing some new ways of understanding and interacting with children and families, and learning how to think about and enact non-discriminatory practices. For this unit, we've developed some learning objectives based on knowledge, values, and skills that we want you to come away with. And it's these objectives that we'll measure after you've completed the unit. So let's take a look at them and why they're important. In terms of knowledge, we want you to understand the purpose of the Americans with Disabilities Act and who it covers. This was a really important piece of legislation that changed the world for those with disabilities because it made discrimination on the basis of handicap against the law. It also ensured, for the first time in American history, that people with disabilities had the legal right to the same access to restaurants, federal and state buildings, and employment, none of which had been guaranteed prior to its enactment. Can you imagine how this piece of legislation changed the world? Can you also imagine how important understanding the ramifications of this law will be for you as a state employee working with populations in which you will encounter people with disabilities? We want you to come away from this unit not only knowing how to work with someone who has a disability, but understanding how they can and should be accommodated as well. In fact, understanding what accommodations are guaranteed under the law. We also want you to know where the Montana discrimination laws can be found, and what they cover, and who you can call if you have questions or concerns. You will also come away from this unit understanding the complaint resolution procedure DPHHS has adopted, and where to find further information when necessary. This knowledge is based on some skills we want you to have. Understanding the area of commonality between human behavior and individual uniqueness is the basis of accurate assessments and non-discriminatory interventions. So regardless of a client's disabling condition, we want you to be able to demonstrate appropriate working relationships with people who have differing abilities. We also want you to demonstrate sensitivity to clients' differences and to be able to think sensitively about how your daily practices may need to be modified when working with a client with disabilities. These modifications are a part of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Finally, this training and the skills and knowledge that we are presenting is based on values that we as a state agency hold and embrace. We want you to be able to recognize and value differences when working with families, colleagues, and collateral contacts. We also want you to act in ways that is respectful, mindful, and reflective of your understanding of the law, our policies and our practices, and our obligations to people with disabilities. Because there's a relationship between your personal attitudes and your behaviors, we want you to understand how your own individual experiences and history can affect your professional and personal beliefs about people who may be different from you. And we want you to act in a way that respects those differences. To help you learn this material, we want you to do some reading, watch a short video, participate in discussions, and take a quiz about the material. The quiz will let us know what competencies you've really gotten and those that you might want to revisit. On your computer screen, we'll work from left to right. So find the button on the left of your screen and let's get started.